Hello! Today we are working on Architecture Lesson 4 and we're looking at digital modelling using an online program called SketchUp. I'll take you through some stages of the tutorials and hopefully this will enable you to develop some more complicated models that show some context, some materials, and will allow you to make adaptations to your ideas quickly and easily using this fantastic free online tool. Cheers! So I've gone onto SketchUp. I just searched SketchUp free online and I've logged in before, so I can just press start modelling. You'll have to set up an account if you haven't done so already, and it will open up this home page just coming up in a moment. Okay, so you can do create new and select the millimeters template, which is the standard one that I would use for architectural model making, and it will open up a basic blank screen like this, and you'll see that there is a person there for rough scale. We're going to be working in approximate scale, so we're just going to draw things so they look roughly in proportion. So we're going to keep that person there because that's going to be very useful. So the most basic tools we're going to be using are introduced here. So we're going to use the shape tools on the left, the pencil tool, and the push-pull tool. So it allows you to draw a flat object, pull it up to be three-dimensional, and then push and pull at various planes on the object. And for today, that's the basic tools we're going to use. You can see here I can select arcs of different kinds. I can use the pencil for straight lines and freehand lines, and I can use the rectangle tool. And if I hold down on that, then I've also got circles and other shapes as options. And there I'm using the push-pull tool to add or remove objects by pushing and pulling them away. I've now moved on to the pencil, held down to the freehand pencil sketching tool that allows me to draw a curved line. We're just doing rough prototype modelling on here at the moment, so that's quite a useful tool to use for that. If we need to be more accurate, then we'd probably produce that using a series of curves instead of a freehand line. Now I moved on to the paint bucket to show you where the different materials are. They're all in different subcategories like glass and mirror, landscape, ground cover, and colours, and you select materials and then you can apply them and they will apply different properties to that material. So you can see there the glass has made it see-through and I can see inside the space that I'm producing. Here I'm trying to show you a common problem that comes up in SketchUp, which is where you can draw a line that is incomplete and therefore won't push-pull, or you can draw a line that looks like it's on a surface but it isn't. So you should notice that the line I've drawn will appear dark and then go to a thinner line weight if it's correct. So this line here is quite thick. If I rotate, you can see, although it looked like it was on the surface, it's actually floating in midair. So it's important to rotate and navigate to check the line is correctly on the face. But also, if you draw it correctly like this, you'll see that after you click it on, it goes to a thinner line weight. I can move and check it's flat on the surface, and that will enable me to push, pull, and extrude that shape in order to add or subtract from my three-dimensional object. So your first task is to make a login for SketchUp and have a play around with those basic tools, and then revisit the video when you are at a stage where you feel comfortable with the basic tools. Okay, I'm now going to develop a design idea in a bit more detail, showing some context, but using the same basic tools as in the start of the video. I'll occasionally make some commentary if I've done something specific, but otherwise this is a slightly sped up version of the process of creating my building for this project. So I've decided I'm going to repeat this skylight several times. Therefore, I'm going to complete it, add the glass, add the thickness to the frame. Then select it carefully. I need to make sure that I haven't got any other parts of the object selected, otherwise they'll copy and paste. So I did Control X to remove it, to check nothing else went, and then Control V by pasting it again and again in different locations, and you can see that it applies the glass surface as long as it's placed on the face, and it will allow me to repeat a repetitive object on the model very quickly. I'm now going to add some context around my model, so I'm going to start with a rectangle and just draw a large work plane. And onto this I could add pathways, I could add contours to give it some idea of the context in which the model would sit. Finally, we're going to look at the styles function of SketchUp. You can change the style of your model to look like a sketch or a technical drawing using the styles function over on the right hand side. The icon is a cylinder and a cuboid. So you click on there and then you can choose various different styles for your image to present it, export it or animate it by using the scenes function. This is often used by my students who find technical drawing more complicated, but they're very proficient on the computer. As you can see from these styles, it allows you to make your drawing look like a sketch, look like a watercolour, look like a technical drawing, and these can all be exported to show different stages of development and different design styles for your final piece. Okay, so as you can see by the end, my model looked relatively professional, particularly to say that actually in real time I only spent about 15 minutes modelling that model. Now, it's an introduction to this for many of you, so hopefully you've had a go at playing around with some shapes and forms and tools and materials to try and get some basic ideas down. The great thing about SketchUp is you can take that whole model, copy and paste it, and then continue to make adaptations and changes to it, change the way you view it as a drawing, as a line drawing, as a semi-photorealistic model. So I hope it's been useful. I'll see you in the next lesson. Cheers.